So I was actually funny. I was thinking this before. You're the only coach. Today's probably the first time we've talked about fitness stuff over Instagram that isn't fucking films, romantic comedies, and I'm trying to think what else. Probably running, maybe on occasion.
Yeah, or slagging other stuff.
Or slagging, yeah, literally, yeah. Which I think is fucking brilliant. Which just goes to show that I will just talk about anything with anyone. Because was it Never Back Down? What you initially said? Yeah,
that's the best film ever.
Like, if anyone hasn't seen that film, it's a very, what was it, 2006, 2007?
It could be early, like maybe 2009, 2010.
It's got a Rise Against song from a 2006 album, so that's why I assume it's around there.
It's so niche though, because I put it up on my story, and you're the only person that got the reference out of like everyone.
What was the reference you put? I'm trying to remember.
It was either the song or like If You Know Where This Is From.
Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah, the training montage.
That's the best tune to like train within the gym.
Yeah, I do wonder if that was anyone's kind of like gateway to like MMA when they were like younger, because I'll bet you there was a lot of people like that actually looks. It's actually a very terrible representation of what the sport is, but it's probably I reckon it's a massive.
Every time I watch it, I want to fight.
It's a great gym. It's like I feel like it's our version of Rocky that no one knows about because it was like kind of pushed to the side a little bit.
I feel there's a little bit of a rom-com as well, like within it.
It's got fucking Amber Heard in it, which is mad now to think about it.
Yeah.
And like no other major actor really, except for the guy who plays the coach. I can't remember his name. He's been in fucking everything.
Multiple films.
He's a great actor. Yeah. So that was I think our first conversation, which was I've actually met someone else who knows that, who understands that reference and is aware of that film.
Very, very niche reference.
Very. Yeah. That's fucking brilliant.
And then from that point.
But yeah, like Fitness Central. You and I we've done the training session. We've had a lot of interesting conversations about. And we'll try not to name names because that's what I'm very good at doing.
We'll keep that out of it.
But yeah, we'll keep that. Yeah, that was done in the gym. Yeah, like so training wise, you're in like you've come out of like the running phase now, haven't you?
Yeah, I went through the midlife crisis, sort of booked a marathon off the whim. It's not what it cut out to be. I'll put it that. A marathon, is it a good goal to tick off? Yeah, it's cool, but I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it. Let's just say I did a marathon in December last year. I haven't run since.
Yeah, that's fair. That's it's quite funny. The number of like reels and memes I see is like you can tell if you're single or going through a midlife crisis if you start taking up running, and then you've just gone, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm good with a midlife crisis. I don't need the running on top of that.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's character building, and it's cool to say you've done a marathon. But other than that, if you're doing multiple marathons, you got to really, really love it.
Did you actually change your training for the running, or did you just tag running on top?
I still did 5 gym sessions. I didn't change anything.
That's like all the things I say that people shouldn't do as well, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, two leg days. I feel like that's why I didn't get injured though, because I trained till failure. I didn't change anything.
Were you not sore when you were doing runs or anything like that?
I just firmed it. But the thing is, I was really like on it with my running days in terms of made sure leg days were spread out, and I was on it like going to the sauna all the time and just make sure it was very like
do the human shit. Yeah.
Yeah, love a bit of that.
Yeah, I find it's really funny, and I know you and I have talked about like it's like the optimal crowd, and I feel like that's also transferred to running, which is like these are the optimal amount of time we need to run a week. This is what you need to do with your recovery. This is what your hydration needs to be, and a lot of people, and like that's just the opposite of going. If I just train really fucking hard, everything will probably work out. Okay.
Exactly, that's what I did, because the thing is, I came off doing 2 shoots and then went straight into this marathon prep.
So you were probably quite light as well.
I was very light, which made it a lot easier.
Yeah, what weight were you then? Was it like lower 70s?
I was probably like 70, like 6.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Fairly low.
Yeah.
And then I went straight into that, and luckily I just sort of went ham with it and just completely sent it. But the thing is, what was really positive that I took from the marathon, it made me love the gym more. So
really?
By doing something that I don't like and seeing it through, it made me love another like.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because I definitely go through phases where like I still love training, and like I'll walk to frontline and I'm like, oh, I cannot be fucked to this, and I get there and I do very much enjoy it, but I would still say in those phases I'm actually not really enjoying going to the gym. Yeah. So I do think it's I've said this to a couple of other people, is like usually when you're a coach, the gym is like it moves away from being your hobby and it becomes not work, but it's part of your work, because you are probably thinking about probably something to do with content, probably something to do with what a client's doing in the gym, or you're probably thinking about filming something in the gym, or you have to like show you're there at least. Whereas if you're doing any other hobby, you probably, it's like, this is a thing for me. Whereas I think when you start to have that kind of mindset of like, oh, I have to document this, it can be quite like all encompassing.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely felt that, because when I was doing the sort of running, gym was just, I was just getting it done. Like, it wasn't
just getting it out.
And especially when you go for a shoot, like training eventually gets to a point where you feel like an absolute zombie, and you're just going there to make sure you retain the muscle and actually.
Yeah, it's literally it's ticking boxes for the sake of the outcome, which is like which actually isn't that enjoyable. People think it's like I never liked going to the gym and going, I know I'm going to be weaker, but I just have to deal with it because I know we're going to look good at the end of it. Like that never sat right with me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I still believe, I'm a strong believer that it's a mindset because I still managed to. I didn't get weaker, but I retained all my lifts.
Yeah.
But it's more the case you're not getting stronger.
Yeah, it's like you have to grit your teeth to
Like
hold
you're
those reps.
fighting for those reps.
Really, really fucking
Somehow
do.
I was still pressing the 40s.
Fucking, that's pretty good.
I
then,
didn't
yeah.
drop the weight at all. But
That's pretty good.
I was generally fighting every.
But like
single
that's
rep.
also what carries you very if you're doing like the bulk cut thing like that.
Yeah.
That is what carries you really well into a gaining phase. Was like you don't have to build back any kind of amount of strength. As like we were saying, like it is night and day difference when you've got a bit of weight behind you with how much you can actually lift, and this is actually. It's like you don't have to force personal bests within the gym. You just have to kind of like just keep ticking along, and then they slowly come. And I think a lot of people are really obsessive. Like you look at managing fatigue and all this type of thing. Like I think people kind of don't really know how to train that hard anymore, and they actually need to learn. You need to just fucking send it in the gym and then see what happens afterwards.
Do you think people overcome the basics too much and think far too ahead?
It's weird because I swing between the two, where some of the stuff I do is a little bit more on the complicated side, and I do talk about more, nuanced, complicated scenarios, which are really important, but they are always met with a prerequisite of like, are you doing all the other things like recovery and injury rehab and are you sleeping well? What's your training like? And every now and then I will do a piece of content that says like, what are your lowest hanging fruits? As people just probably need to train with better technique. Like if it's like lagging body part or injured side, there are cool biomechanical things that you can do to break that down with clients, and I have done that, and that has worked really well. A lot of it is just, are you really training with as accurate as you think you are? Are you really being intelligent with your load selections? Do you understand what progressive overload actually is? And it's not just more weight each week, more reps each week. It's about being very intelligent with how you take those increases. So yeah, I think the people who are younger to training and in the industry because of the information age, they are more likely to overcomplicate it because they think they have to do all these things. Whereas, like when you and I started, I got my education from fucking bodybuilding.com.
Yeah.
Like they were dumb programs, but I didn't really have anything else to question them, so I just did them as much as I could. Like I remember following like Dwayne Johnson's plans from Hercules in like men's fitness, and like the volume on those things was stupid, but I had no one else to tell me, hey, volume and intensity are inversely proportional. You can't train really, really hard all the time at high volumes. I would just go in and do it. Yeah. But I would go in and go, fuck, 5 sets of shoulder press seems like a bit too much. I'll do 3, but I still train very hard.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think people need to learn that it isn't just about the effort. It's also about where it's directed within your training. And like you can get away with it. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend training 5 times a week and doing 2 runs a week, but clearly it has worked. Yeah. And you were still smart enough to go. You would also be smart enough to go, like if your run started suffering, go, all right, maybe that 2 sessions of legs a week, maybe let's drop that down to 1. Maybe let's not do as many sessions and let's see if we kind of maintain that. And that is just something that you learn by doing, as opposed to like people try to preempt the downfall of their training before they've even spent any time in the gym. And what you need to do is actually spend the time in the gym and then go, right, this phase, everything progressed. This actually didn't progress. Why? Was it because there's too much volume here, or like it was like later on in the session, so I was really fatigued, whatever the fuck it is. So yeah, I think there's a case for both at the end of the day, which is I think the people who do better at their training overall are the ones who just they can kind of switch that part of their brain off and go, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to lift, I'm going to see what happens, I'm going to repeat that and go again.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's 2 camps of people where there's like the volume people, which will throw enough volume at it to try stimulate some sort of muscle
chuck as much shit against the wall type thing.
Yeah, do as many as I can. Like, let's do 5 million sets of this. Yeah. And then there's the other people that just don't push hard enough, but don't do enough volume. Yeah. So they're just both stuck.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's a massive sticking point I see with a lot of people that have probably been training years as well.
Yeah, honestly, the goal, not goal, so the definition that me and my friends use is like lifetime intermediate. And like even intermediate's probably a little bit too generous for some of the people I've seen. Like you've more or less been a lifetime beginner, where you haven't got any kind of that newbie gains anymore. That adaptation's gone, but you're not pushing yourself hard enough within each session to have any like tangible progress. And 9 times out of 10, it's the same guys who are like probably a little bit young to the gym, and they're probably probably jumping between one programs. They're chasing novelty and they think it's progression. It's like, no, you're just doing different things every 6 weeks, and because it's new, you progress for like 3 weeks. You get bored, you do something else, and you cannot stick to the one thing. Like I always joke, like a 16-week training block is actually not a very long period of time to run like similar exercises. You can maybe rotate a few exercises out, but like 16 weeks is a decent run, and then you can maybe think about a few rotations and see how you progress there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And also, like my recent training plan, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, just rinse and repeat.
I've generally been doing the same training plan for probably like 2-3 years, just because I pick the movements I enjoy, I connect well with them, and I just love them and they progress. And it's not broken.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, my training at the moment is just I know that this has worked repeatedly, and I'm just going to chuck 1 or 2 new things that I've not done for a while, just to see how I could expose myself to something new. And that's going to be the thing that I may be a little bit more diligent with. Everything else, I can just send that. There's no issue there. Which is, it's almost like if you were to look at my program, and this is coming from someone who I do talk about like a lot of I don't want to say advanced, but like a lot of complex shit, I suppose. Like it almost looks so simple, it almost looks stupid. But at the end of it, that's actually what a lot of people need. And it's quite easy to look at programs and go, oh, I could easily make this up. Like, you probably could make it up, but do you have the organic thought process to make that up and make it simple for someone else? Or would you overcomplicate it for yourself? And I think a lot of people are really good at trying to optimize all these minute variables when they haven't just got the right, well, what are the main exercises we need to work on? What are the main qualities? What's the main goal? Like, people don't even talk about like specificity or anything else anymore, which I find really, really weird. And I've done education seminars and calls where I've got backgrounds from other coaches, and most of their education, or where they've got that kind of inspiration from, it's kind of like watered down bodybuilding. And like bodybuilding is not even really at the top of like kind of training modalities. So like if you've got the shit version of that, like no wonder we're getting people with these like really like shit physiques and just really poor training programs.
Yeah, it does make sense. But I feel like you could optimize everything, but still, if you got that training intensity, that's like a wet flannel,
yes, no point.
You're gonna get nowhere. Because I feel like I've had a lot of clients that they may be thinking about all these crazy advanced things. I'm gonna use this biomechanic. I'm gonna kind of tailor this to this, and then I'm like, you train like this, bro. Like, sort that out. And
I remember there was,
and you don't even have protein.
Oh, there was a basic. I can't remember which gym it was. There was a gym where there was, and this is when this stuff was becoming really, really popular. Like when more cuffs and reverse band, and I used to do it as well. But there was a guy who used to come in. Like, I swear to God, he would wear like chinos, and like he'd bench like 2.5 plates, like 120 for reps, and like train with dog shit technique. And he was jacked. And we were looking at this guy like, okay, I've got cuffs on Cybex Bravo, I've got the daisy chains, and like I can just about bench 2 plates. This guy is repping 20 kilos more than me. And this guy was just like, he was not even a meathead, he just clearly was built to go to the gym, very much enjoyed it, like didn't give a fuck about what anyone else was doing, training it, and he was actually in pretty good shape. If you were to ask most blokes in the UK, would you like this physique and be able to bench 120 for reps? They'd be like, yeah, fuck it. They wouldn't care about the method. So I think that this is something that people need to realise. Like a lot of things actually do work. Like a lot of rep ranges do work. A lot of volume landmarks do work. It is just the more you do them, you will just kind of realise, right, this is a little bit too much for me. This is not enough for me. And then that kind of range between what you can do, it just becomes a lot smaller. And it's right, I'm just going to stay here. And this is what allows me to consistently progress. Talk about like minimum effective dose, like that's relative per person. It's not trying to do as little as possible. It's doing the least amount that allows you to consistently progress relative to what you're doing.
But would you say people are a bad indicator of judging that?
Yeah, because it takes a long time to do it. Like even now, there's certain things where I kind of go, okay, every time if I train 5 times a week, I get to a point of diminishing returns very quickly. Not like within a couple of weeks, but I reckon after 2-3 months, I'm like, I'm way more beat up. Whereas if I go back down to 4, as much as I have an itch to train a little bit more and go, oh, I know I can add more in here. I can add a little bit more for this exercise or a little bit more for this body part, whatever it is. I know I can do that, but I know I'll probably pay the price relatively quickly. So I have to kind of just tell myself, look, just do 4 sessions a week. It'll be fine. It'll be a longer run of training progressions. And I've said this with clients like running is a great example. The amount of clients I've had who want to run 3-4 times a week, still train 3 times a week in the gym. I go, look, 2 runs. Like, start there, then we'll see. Like, when you've got that adaptation, we can think about progressing it. Or we're going to have to do less within the gym. I don't want to do less in the gym. Well, then you can't do as many runs. You have to find that kind of, I hate to say the word balance, but that sweet spot between the two of them. But that comes from experience. And like you and I were saying, there's like the coaches who are good at like that type of aspect of coaching are the ones who've done that themselves, and they've done that trial and error, and they go, right, I know this doesn't work. Whether it works for me or not is neither here nor there, but I know this probably doesn't work.
Yeah, and you only know, like you said, if you've actually done that. And I don't know, I think people are easy just to overanalyze, and before they've even got to that point.
Yeah,
But actually,
you need
how
to
long have
learn
you been running that program? How long have you been doing that exercise?
Yeah.
Are you actually plateauing, or are you just bad at training and haven't built up the skill?
Oh, the plateau thing is so. It's like I was like, I need to break through this plateau,
And
I go, have you really plateaued, or do you just not really understand how to make decent weight jumps and like be intelligent with your training? Like not that I say the plateaus don't exist, but I think they should be very few and far between in most training programs. And also, like, how would you define it? A lot of people they'll stall for 1 week. Oh, I've hit a plateau. Like, you're not meant to progress every week. It's not going to happen. It does not work. Like, if every single lift added a kilo every week,
would be Ronnie Coleman.
Literally, like it just doesn't work like that. I don't know where that arbitrary value came from. I don't know if it was like, I know like Jordan Peters is very big on like beat the logbook every week, and I understand the concept of that. But I also know that people took that a little bit too literally, and they were like, if I do not see numerical value change here, I have not progressed, and that is just not true. Also, if your volume is going up every week, your intensity will eventually suffer. So it's like there has to be a trade-off somewhere. So you're not going to see volume increase every week. There's going to be a point where it takes a back seat for you to still train at that relative intensity. And I don't think people realise that, which is probably another indicator of how people don't spend very long doing training phases. Like when you start getting advanced, as an athlete or whatever you want to call it, and you get stronger, you genuinely don't need as many sets. Like some of the biggest or strongest guys will probably do 2 sets max, especially for their main lifts. Whereas that's because they've had the skill, the adaptation for it. And you get a lot of like the younger guys trying to copy that. It's like, no, you actually need to spend time building up a lot of work capacity in the gym, and then you can kind of pull volume back a little bit.
Yeah, and that's where the volume actually comes in handy. Spend more time doing it, because at the start you are shit at it, so more volume will benefit you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like you can like again, if you're a bit younger, you can recover from it. Like the volume I used to do when I was like 21, Jesus Christ,
I used to do 4 times 12s on everything.
Genuinely, yeah. And there's kids going on TikTok, oh, it's really bad for hypertrophy. I'm like, yeah, it's probably bad for Mr. IFBB Pro, who's like who generates a shitload of fatigue per set. But I'd probably do it for a little bit, and then if you want to take 1 set off, absolutely fine. Like I can still do 3 sets on most exercises, but I also know the ones that I can't do 3 sets on because I know I'll tank reps on that 3rd set. So I just don't do that. And it sounds so dumb.
Yeah.
But that's genuinely all the programming is. I go, right, I know 2 is the limit. We stick with 2. I can do 3 on this one. We'll do 3. It'll be fine. And it's sometimes it can be as simple as that. And when you want to, if you want to train, more competitive physique athletes where there's body parts to work on and there's, show by show, season by season goals, then yeah, fine. We can be very, very accurate with our volume landmarks. But if you're just trying to move better, train a bit harder, then it's like, right, you probably just need to find that kind of sweet spot straight off the bat.
Yeah, for 90% of people, it doesn't really...
Yeah, it's who I imagine there are no IFBB Pro coaches probably going to watch this podcast. If so, fair enough. However...
I'll respect.
Yeah, fair play, like, welcome.
What are you doing?
like, how far down the YouTube algorithm are you?
Rather than us being a rabbit hole.
It's just like they've had a really long leg session. They're just looking for something to wind down.
They're in the deeps of like cardio hole, and
yeah, it's like when cardio is like an hour session. I need to watch 2 people just chat shit for an hour and just switch my brain off. Yeah, that's fair. They could be there. But yeah, unless you are at that level, you probably don't need to go that deep into it. And like I joke about this all the time. Like I think it was Angus Bradley who said this, where if the average bloke just trained with a good amount of strength training, half decent bodybuilding plan, ate in a good surplus and dieted in a good deficit, they'd probably look like, Brad Pitt from Fight Club, like that kind of like lean aesthetic physique with a bit of muscle. And then if you want more than that, obviously you just titrate it relative to how much you want to build at the end of the day. Like if you want to be bigger, right, fine, spend more time in a gaining phase. If you want to stay lean, all right, cool. Well, don't spend too much time in an aggressive bulk and then do more mini cuts, whatever it is. Yeah. Like it is not as deep as you think it is.
No, from like a simple point of view, all it is managing energy balance and then making sure you train efficiently and effectively.
Generally, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And when you've got that nailed, you can look at the more intricate stuff. And the intricate stuff, I still love it. I do think it's really fun. I do love fucking around with this, but I will not probably do it if I'm sleeping 4 hours a day. Night, sorry. I'm like eating like an absolute fucking child. Got poor macronutrient, micronutrient quality, and for whatever reason I decide not to train hard. Like if any of those come up, I'm probably not going to be that obsessed about my programming. I'm just going to go to the gym and train and try to focus on all those other variables outside of the gym. The problem is what I've just described is the average person, really, who doesn't eat well, doesn't sleep well, doesn't have a good idea of the recovery, has a shit routine. And they think, right, I need to do this one cable bicep exercise to build biceps. And it's like, no, you need to just go in and train your biceps. Like, just pick one of the 12 different exercises there are and just send it. And then learn to send it as well. That's the other thing you probably haven't learned how to do.
I feel like a lot of people overlook the actual skill of training.
Yeah.
Like, it's generally... Like,
takes time.
So say if you want to learn sales, you're going to be terrible when you start. And you
Okay.
actually have to spend time educating yourself, learning. Same with training.
Yeah.
As a guy, it's easy to think, oh, I'm a guy, I can lift weight.
Yeah, it's no one wants to be shit at something anymore. I found, and like this goes for some of the coaches I've worked with. They don't want to make the wrong decision. I'm like, well, like a tough shit. The wrong decision will help you find out what the right one is. Like that is every single guy or girl who has got an insane rig. Go up to them and like they will probably have at least 3 to 5 stories of just the dumb shit that they did. Like the outlandish exercises they did when they started, or the things that they thought worked that just didn't work. It was like this. Most blokes have probably done a bulking phase and they're like, I'll do cardio after my weight so I stay lean.
You've got to share your one now.
Yeah, like my one. Oh god, I'm trying to think.
I know I can go with mine.
Mine was like I did a lot of high volume workouts because I followed like Chris Gethin and like the GVT stuff. That was pretty bad. I spent a lot of money on supplements. Like mass gainer was a big one. I don't know why I spent so much money on mass gainer.
Yeah.
I think it was because
it was marketed very well.
It was marketed very well. Optimum Nutrition,
I cannot be skinny.
Yeah, and it was like what was it, like 40 grams of fat or something like that.
Yeah.
It was fucking insane. Yeah, that was. I spent a lot of money on that. Like I generally used to like wait outside GNC for them to open to get the stock for that. I have no idea why. Because like calorie wise, I didn't need that much to grow. Like I do that now relatively easy. Yeah. So yeah, that was probably one of the biggest waste of money. And like the scoop was like, did you see the scoop?
It was like
it's a fucking trowel, isn't it? Yeah. So I can't believe I used to have.
It gets so I was forcing it down like a lot. Of
yeah,
the time.
like you put it in like an ordinary shaker, and it just clumps.
Like cement.
I used to have that in my second lecture in uni, and I remember but before the time I got to lunch, I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the toilet. Like every time, it was just never agreeing with me. Yeah, straight through. Like fucking. That's why it didn't work. I didn't absorb any of it. It was just in one or the other.
The worst farts possible.
Literally, yeah. It was like the worst.
It was a bad day for the people in the lectures.
No, I was always afterwards. Like, I was there like this, like shaking, just like listening to fucking science lectures. Like I'm gonna be fucking sick over everybody here. The second the bell goes, like I'm out. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Trying to think. I mean, like, I did all the dumb training things. I followed a lot of like celebrity workouts. That was definitely one of the things that I did. But yeah, what about you? What would you say?
I feel like mine was the classic maxing out every session.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Every week.
Interesting.
Do you remember the DUP programs where you could input?
DUP still a pretty good program still as well.
But I took it very. It was like a David Lade one, obviously. And you input your max lifts, bench, dead. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Works out all your data, but the amount of volume. I remember going in and I was literally absolutely ruined every single time. And then I'd obviously max out every time. Yeah. I'm just really lucky that I didn't injure myself, but.
There were a couple lads I knew from my first gym who was like that. Like every session, it was let's do 1 RM, and it'd be after 3 sets of 10. I'm like, where is the? Like, obviously now you look back on it and you go, where the fuck was the logic there? But yeah, there's every single person. I'm sure there'll be similar aspects like girls where with regards to like eating habits, like cardio habits, because that tends to be the trend. But like every single person who's got like a pretty good rig has probably done something so dumb. But at least they've done it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people now are afraid to do the thing unless they know it's perfect, and you do not know if it's perfect until you've done it. So you basically you've kind of failed before you started, which is not really the best kind of approach for training at the moment.
It's crazy. I think I probably spent a good 2-3 years fucking failing and making mistakes.
God, yeah.
But then I was like, oh, that don't work, let me try this. And then I just kept going.
Yeah, it's back to the drawing board,
It's like with nutrition, training, everything, but I was just relentless with like, What can I do next?
Yeah, a lot of people are bad at critical thinking at the moment, I think, which is tough, and it is a, like I said, we are in an information age where it's so easy to find, information on Instagram, or also like Instagram is such a, when I started, coaching education on Instagram didn't exist, and there weren't people like arguing with each other about really nuanced topics
Yeah.
that didn't make a difference really in the long run. So I don't really blame people for having that kind of, oh, do I do this, or do I do this, or do I do that, or do I do this? And there's obviously those content creators that have made content about that. So it is very much a paralysis by analysis.
And then you just do nothing.
You just do nothing basically, yeah. Which is tough. It's tough to get out of that, and people almost go through like this identity crisis of what am I meant to do? Right, you're meant to go into the gym and train, do the things you like, and then when you find out you don't like it, you do something else.
Yeah.
That is genuinely all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, it would be funny, like, starting again with all this information.
Oh, I'd
What
love
would
to
be
do
like?
that.
I feel like I made a reel about this the other day. I feel like there's so much information. It's easy.
Yeah.
You can generally find someone that has the physique. They've probably got a YouTube. You can see their habits.
Yeah.
You can probably see their training program. Or if not, you can use AI.
Yeah.
So like, you just stick to that as long as you can.
The problem is, it's so easy to find someone else who looks maybe the same, does something a bit different, and like, oh, they did it a quicker time. Oh, maybe I should do that instead. Oh, but they also did this instead, and that's literally all it is.
Yeah.
It's like
stick with one.
It takes that one little second of doubt to go, oh, maybe I should do this instead, and then you've overhauled 4 weeks of training, which is where you're maybe starting to see decent adaptations, and you go do something else. So yeah, I think it is tough, and I'm not saying it's easy. Like there were still multiple arguments and different training programs when we started. Like there was 5-3-1, like DUP, 2x4. I'm sure there's fucking loads. I can't remember. So like there was still, but they all had relatively similar kind of principles, which is just get stronger in the gym, have some sort of periodization tool, and then program your accessories around your main lifts. So at least it was easier to follow. Whereas now we have people arguing about like nuanced exercises, which I think is where we're just zooming in a little bit too much, which is the problem.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate because you just don't know what is going to work for
you
until you actually give it a go. Because everyone is different as well. Because people get it twisted. You think you got to do this set thing when you really don't. Because if you enjoy something and then someone else on Instagram says, "Oh, yes, that's terrible," and then you're like, "Oh, maybe it's not good for me then."
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're connecting well, progressing, then why not?
Yeah, it is so fucking simple.
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to think of a way to describe this, because one of the best analogies I've heard about like programming, it's kind of like, it's like cooking. It's like you'll have the dish, but you'll have 10 different people will cook the dish differently, and they'll have learned how to cook the dish differently from different people. Whether it was like whether they lived in the country, whether their parents taught it, whether they learned it from a cookbook, learned it from scratch, and then you've got the person who's going to be the person you give the dish or the workout program to, and they might hate the fact you put too much salt in it. So it's like, okay, well, I need less salt for this person, and that is genuinely all coaching is. At the end of the day, it is refining that for the person, and the best person to do that with at the start is yourself. Really, is you going, all right, well, my favorite influencer loves push-pull legs, twice a week, so 6 days a week. Okay, I tried that. Fuck me, my legs were wrecked. Like, this is too much. What if we do push-pull legs, upper delts and arms? Okay, that's a little bit better, but I want more legs. Okay, what if we do push-pull legs, upper lower? Okay, that works a bit better. And then it's literally just having that rough thought process of, this isn't really working. What slight thing can I change now that's going to be more in line with my goals? As opposed to, I've seen this one person do this on Instagram. Let me change everything because they said so. Yeah. I still stand by the green screen feature on Instagram is like the worst thing.
I think it depends how you use it. If you're just sort of calling out people's content like that, that's not good.
Anytime I see one, I literally scroll off. Like, it might be because I'm a bit older, where I just go, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not entertaining this at all.
I think I actually did one the other
week.
Did you? Yeah, but it was more. I was showing.
What was it on?
Showing my old program. It was actually about the DUP program.
Okay, that's pretty good. I
use it to show like an example of my journey. Like,
okay, that's fair.
If I'm showing something from the back, it's quite good for that.
Okay, fair enough. I will make exceptions for that type of thing.
But say if you're just doing it from calling out someone else,
people just do it for rage bait. Yeah, people do it for honestly, it's like fucking Inception nowadays. Yeah. I've seen it's like 3 floating heads, and I go, wait, who am I watching?
Yeah.
Like,
was the person watching the watching, someone else watching the person watching.
It is weird how we've devolved into such a weird state of content in the last like 2-3 years with that.
Yeah. I wish I could go back to how it started.
Oh, I've had this conversation with coaches where they're like, I wish I could go back to like 2015 education and training, because like it was so much more simple back then. Like I could just go to the gym. I didn't have to worry about what anyone else is doing. There's probably less people filming in the gym back then as well, which is, regardless of whether you agree with it, is probably a little bit better. And I could just go and train and then just go home and enjoy my life.
Yeah, and I feel like back in the day, I don't know about you, but I grew up when it was like Azias as well. Like people just used to go to the gym, party, and go out and just look good.
It was a simple life. It was a simple life, wasn't it?
No one cared as long as you're training hard and getting in the gym.
Yeah, it's I think it's because the bigger ceiling something has, there's more opportunity. But the more opportunity isn't always good for some people. Some people need a bit more of a narrower approach. It's like someone who's got shitty eating habits. You probably don't want to give them, if it fits your macros, and go, hey, just stick to this, because you know that fat intake is going to be chocolate and peanut butter. And it's like, no, you actually need structure. You need to learn this, this, and this. And then maybe we'll give you a bit of free reign. And I do feel like fitness industry and training is very much like that. Some people, they deal really well with having that autonomy, and they can do what they want, they can explore. Where some people like need to just be told what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
And I think, again, coming back to like coaching, that is what makes you a good coach. Going, I know this person cannot be trusted to just have full free reign. Here's a meal plan or a rough meal plan template. Let's trial that. And then we'll add things in as we go along.
Yeah, I feel that's the beauty now. You can literally, say if you are a beginner or even intermediate, you can just work with a coach who's made all those mistakes, where
literally
can technically fast track your progress.
That's what you're paying for. You're paying
for in the
yeah.
best possible way, like without making those mistakes.
Yeah, I still stand by the whole point of hiring a coach is to negate the time aspect of you fucking around and finding out yourself, and having someone say to you, hey, based off of the information you've given me, where you are, my experience, this is the best thing for you. You pay them money for that service, and then as a result, you spend less time fucking about. You get to that end result a lot quicker, provided you do what they say. The tough part is a lot of people don't do what the coach says, and they don't realise that is the point.
Yeah. Either paying time or money, don't you?
Yeah, that's literally it, didn't it? Like time you can't buy back, so you may as well use a coach for that reason.
Yeah, I wish I did, when I very first started, I did have at least a coach or maybe some better advice, but still, I don't regret it.
No, I get that. I think for me it was trying to think. I don't really. Do you have any training regrets? Like things you've really done differently?
Not really.
That's fair. The only one I have is I wish I still played like a sport alongside going to the gym.
Yeah.
Just to have that variety within training and not just being bodybuilding, like contract muscles, go home, rest.
Yeah, that's a fair point, because I was more just playing football, which it was more for fun, so I wouldn't really say it's like that sort of gym based or programming. Yeah,
I think having something external is a very good way to. It's kind of like what you said about like it being a hobby. I think it's way more interesting to just have that additional thing you do, and then the gym just complements it.
Yeah.
Like with performance, running, hybrid, high rocks, whatever you want to call it, being so popular now, a lot of people are using the gym as a thing to get better at something outside of the gym, as opposed to just the gym itself. So I think that's quite a nice segue to learn. Like, oh, actually, you could do more things than just go up and pick weights in the gym, and that could be still something you enjoy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where having some sort of different goals within it, like, isn't it?
Gym-based goals are quite hard to strength goals and physique goals, but like they do take time. So like, it's quite nice to have like there's more not relaxed, but there's varied goals within coaching or within your own training that are just give you a bit more to work on. Like if it is, all right, I want to play like more five-a-side once a week. I want to like perform X amount. I want to score more goals. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't care. But like having like something else to kind of like think about is actually quite nice. I think that I need to PB my dumbbell bench press this week. Otherwise, I've not progressed. And it's like, no, it's not how it works at all.
Yeah, that's cool. But I feel like not many people have that ability or still playing sport to do that.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Unless you're an athlete.
Yeah, unless you're an athlete. Like, even then, I think there's nothing stopping anyone from participating in a recreational sport. It's a bit hard in the UK when it's outside and it's fucking raining like this. That's the one thing I will say. Like, we're not a very outdoorsy culture.
No.
So the main activity I've spoken to people in Manchester that they do is hiking. And that's fine, but it's not really a sport. It's not the same kind of like athletic prowess. How to program it? Yeah. So, but like this is why like fucking paddle is so huge as a result of this now, because it's relatively easy. I've not played, so I can't. It's relatively easy.
Very easy.
Yeah, I have an idea for YouTube videos. I want to take me and 3 other big bodybuilders to do paddle and see who tears a hamstring first. Yeah. Just to see like how bad it's probably going to be, because I think it would be very, very entertaining. Because it's not as hard as squash or tennis, so I reckon it would be.
It's still very mobile. Like,
Yeah, have you played?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fucking difficult.
Did it as a client event.
Really?
Great client event at school.
Interesting. Oh, I might have to do that for some of them.
Because anyone can play it. The barrier tension is very easy.
Yeah.
Because it's way easier than tennis.
Yeah.
And it's just like a mixture of two. And it's like squash as well.
Ooh,
I use the backboard.
Yeah, I might have to do this for clients then,
Yeah.
just to see, because I've got some very competitive clients who are like borderline autistic with it. So I reckon it'll be very entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, fair, interesting. Yeah, so like I think with more performance goals like that, I think it's a lot more. And like obviously we've spoken about like running being quite popular. I think it's quite nice to have that kind of blend of the two. Also, like I will say anecdotally, programming just for bodybuilding is not that entertaining as a coach. You are just like, if you love bodybuilding, which we've talked about,
Yeah.
great. But you are just writing very similar programs over and over and just tweaking little things. Whereas if you've got someone who goes, I want to, like get shredded for a shoot, but I also want a PB run at the same time, you're like, okay, cool, I have to work a little bit here. We've got a couple of variables to manage. We can be a bit more, vary with the program, which I think is underrated. Also, you learn how to be a better coach doing that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of people that I work with, they're not bodybuilders.
No, that's it. Yeah, honestly, I have a very few bodybuilders who don't bodybuild anymore. They just like the physique goals, and they still have performance goals. I've got a couple of bodybuilders now who are like big jacked guys who go, I want to take up running, and I go, right, we're going to change programming. But like, there's nothing against this. Like, absolutely, if you want to take up a new sport, and like it's quite nice for them because they like getting better at things, and they're shit at running. Yeah. So they're like, right, okay, we're down here. Like, what do we need to do to get up here? So it's quite nice to watch people like kind of learn to be a beginner again and go, actually, I quite enjoy this. Let me really push into something. It's kind of like what you said about like running. You have to give it your all if you're wanting to go for like those higher targets. So it gives people something else to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like lots of bodybuilders now, they've gone into high rocks because they're bored of bodybuilding.
To be honest, like I don't really blame them for that.
Yeah.
I know it's like the cliche trend of it's like the fitness chick who has an eating disorder and then goes into high rocks because you eat more food. And it's like, okay, we can see where you're going with that. But it probably is healthier. It probably is a little bit more interesting to them. They still probably get to go to the gym and do, like lower body and upper body and whatever kind of split they want, and then chuck them running on top. So I get that. I rate it. It's not for me. I'm not doing a high rocks, but I could not do that. But yeah, like I rate it. I can understand it.
Yeah, true. I don't think it's for me either. Like,
No, do you not fancy doing a high rocks while you're doing the running?
not really.
No.
I hate the running enough.
That's fair. Yeah.
I want to do a more running race.
No, I would get 5 minutes in and go, I'm not. Do you know what? The strength stuff, like give me a sled, farmers, I can love that shit. Wall balls, not so much. It would be the running in between. I would go, I do not want to do this. Like I couldn't. Tempted. Like I did say earlier, like I'm tempted to just train strength and conditioning, and then I'll do a high rocks and not tell anyone and just see what happens. But
it would be a cool video.
Do you know what I would do? I would do it just for the content. I wouldn't even do it to say I like high rocks. It would just be take the picture at the end of the race. Here's my time. I did it. On to the next. So yeah, it might be cool. I would end up fucked after it though. Like I'm so not built for long distance running.
That's basically what I did with the marathon.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not wrecked after it.
Yeah, I was pretty ruined.
Yeah.
Like legs were in the bin for like 2 weeks easily. It was some terrible pain. It was pure agony. And to be fair, with the running, there was a lot of like mixed people doing it. Like so many older people, and I was just like, respect it.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Mate, the community. Like I saw my friend Sam do the Represent run. I said this, and like it was like it's so not my thing, but like the community aspect for it is fantastic. Yeah. It is actually great to watch other people like compete and complete a race. And also, everyone is very positive and uplifting. So I can imagine if you are maybe not really someone who likes the introverted, solitary aspect of weightlifting, bodybuilding environment. Obviously, it has community aspects. But if that's not really your thing, and you kind of thrive of having other people, I do think it's actually a great thing to do. Because you'll actually want to continue doing it, which is the important part at the end of the day. That's why running clubs exist, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they're a bit culty now, though.
They're very good. They're either culty or that's literally what I was about to say. Yeah. From what I've, like, there's not much running going on there, and it's mostly socialising. But I think now it's really weird. People have cottoned onto that. Yeah. So now when people go, they can figure out who's there to date and who's there to run.
People,
yeah. So it's just gonna come full circle, and then all the people go there for dating won't be able to date, and then I have to find something different. So yeah, it's run clubs are not. We've got this loads in Manchester. I see them all.
I mean, it's a good way to meet people.
It is, like I said, I can see what online coaches do because you sat at your desk the entire day, and it's like I have no human interaction. This is where I get to go outside. Like I post my steps every couple of days, and it's like I've done 3,000 steps a day. Like because I literally wake up, go there, work.
It's all you do. Go to the toilet.
It's literally it. Like this like 500 square foot flat is literally my steps. And you do kind of go, shit, I need to actually get outside. So a run club is probably a great way to do that. It's like I joked about this when I did the physio degree. I spent so much time in placement, like with people. I'd come home and I'd be like, I do not want to speak to anyone. Now, the opposite.
Yeah.
Finish the day and I'm like, as much as check-ins and sometimes doing calls, it's fine. I'm like, I need to speak to someone, otherwise I'm going to go insane. So yeah, it's funny how that comes full circle.
Do you only think some days you can go without even like, say if it's not a check-in day?
Oh yeah.
You probably go without saying a word.
Absolutely.
Or seeing anyone, and that's not good.
I've had a lot of clients who work from home say exactly that actually. The tipping point for me for like going towards like more full-time online coaching route was I had a day where I didn't speak to anyone and like pretty much had all my meals prepped, like all my food was here, and then it was like 7 o'clock in the evening. I had to go out to get something in the shop. And I opened my door, I was like, my door's locked, and I never locked my door. And I went, oh, it's because I've not been out today.
Yeah.
It's 7 p.m. and I've been sat at that desk since like 8:30. That is why. And that was when I thought, right, I need to actually go do things.
Yeah. I think it's very easy just to get trapped in that.
And
then
it's
just
so
like
fucking
you can
easy.
just like go to the gym, do this, do your check-ins, run the business.
Yeah, generally.
And you forget to do things.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with clients where like who are coaches, and they go, apart from like their partner, like I actually don't have anything else outside of this, and like we all kind of say now we need to actually do something. Even the guitar work, I say I literally do it at the desk. Like I don't move as much as it's a different skill. I'm not actually in any different position, and they're literally half a foot from my desk. So all I have to do is sit in the chair, close the laptop, pick it up, it's plugged in, turn it on, done. And so this is where I think online coaches should absolutely have like some sort of additional hobby outside of it. It's also why I think a lot of online coaches take up golf, because it's very expensive, but it's like it's steps.
Yeah.
It's not that tiring, and it gets you out the house. it's something to work on from a skill perspective, and it's like it's probably a good way to like if you want to train with clients as well without actually doing an actual gym session. So yeah, I think that's going to be the new thing is online coaches taking up golf.
Yes, it's something that all my mates have. I actually did an email about this.
Really?
So many of my mates, I met up with them in London, and like the next big thing is like golf. Everyone's like, yeah, buying this, doing this, going this.
It is like the next level of the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I think if it's not running, it's probably going to be golf.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and this is a good thing to get out of the house for like 4+ hours.
Literally 3.5, 4 hours. Yeah. Especially if the weather's good. So and then also the other reason I think it's a good excuse to go to the pub afterwards, which is what most of them do. It's like, okay, we've done that, pub, lunch, easy work.
And also in the summer, like in the sun,
It's actually nice.
It's unmatched, and it's rare that you have something that's not just getting completely fucked up.
Yeah.
You can speak with the boys and just.
Yeah, I would love to see a like data of like professions and products that have skyrocketed in demand just because of online coaches. It's like flights to Dubai, like gym memberships, like Monster Energy drink, golf, like all shit like that, just for the sake of content creation and online coaching world. Because I reckon it would be. A Monster would have to be probably the biggest one, like surely.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm trying to think. There'll be probably the influx of running coaches, so like running gear and shit like that.
Yeah, even like just a MacBook, like
yeah.
Coach, everyone, if you're a coach, you have a MacBook.
Yeah. Every time I've got a few clients who've got coaches who have Samsung, and I'm like, there's no fucking way.
No.
Like, there's no way you're running.
They are great. They are.
Yeah.
And once you have one, you don't go back.
I could never. Yeah. I've had Apple for too fucking long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think. Like we were saying this before, is like getting into online coaching now is very, very different than when we started it, and it was just something you kind of tagged on to PTing, or you just did a little bit as opposed to the full blown career that everyone's pushing for now.
Yeah, or you do it as a bit of a side hustle and think,
oh,
maybe something come from this. That's how I kind of like. As you just start a fitness Instagram because you enjoy it, and then people ask questions, you help them. Maybe you write them a program for literally nothing.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I'll do your plan. Yeah,
people want money straight away, but I'm still a big advocate for helping people for literally nothing.
Yeah,
But yeah, you do that, and then this online coaching, I can actually coach people a lot.
Yeah, I always say this, like, this time 10 years ago, your ceiling as a PT was very different to what it is now when it comes to people in Dubai earning stupid amounts of money through content creation, YouTube, fitness apps, like having hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. Like it's completely different. So I think people see that and it's very enticing, and then you realise it's not that it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's more that it isn't. It's not as easy to get to that stage, and when you get there, it's very different to be in that situation than it is to observe someone in that situation through Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. I'd hate to restart now.
Oh god, I would not want to do that now. Like, it's kind of one of those things where you probably got more opportunities because like there's a niche for everything now. But then it's you don't know what to do because you've not done enough to know what your niche is. So you're probably going to go in sounding more generic than anyone else, and you have to work harder to find the things that you want to do that kind of separate you from everybody else. So it's probably a lot more stressful, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a couple of clients who are younger coaches, and like they do say like it's like, what do I focus on, this, and this? And I'm kind of sat there like, all of it. It's fucking tough, but like you do just naturally get better at doing it. And I think what you said is like if you naturally just want to just help people, provide a good service, that will come over time. And I think with the way social media is now, I don't know if you think this, but people are getting a bit more wise to when you're just doing it for money and just for that kind of that you're doing it to have the lifestyle, not because you like doing the job.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like when we started, I didn't just start out to be an online coach.
Yeah, I didn't even consider working remote or anything like that.
But now, like people, I want to be an online coach. Back then, no, we just posted stuff.
Yeah, we literally just posted it. Like, this looks fun. I'm going to post this exercise, or you'd meet up at a seminar or body power, like something like that, because you just liked fitness.
Exactly.
Like,
I just love fitness. Used to watch YouTube, learn about it, just for my own benefit, like nothing else. And then I just posted about it.
Yeah, it's curiosity almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then you eventually start to make progress, and people are like, then you ask questions, and naturally you're coaching without even realizing. Yeah. And then we realize what it was. But now, like, I'm going to be an online coach. So,
yeah, I always make this comparison that there are two types of online coaches, which is people who are into fitness, who love it, who leverage social media and content to build the business, or people who are influencers who then create a fitness-based platform to earn money. And I think a lot of people want to be the latter. They think that's what online coaching is, when in reality it's actually it's the first option. There are people who do the first option and become really, really big for whatever reason that is. But still, for the most part, they're still coaches. They just have a large platform. They probably have to have much better systems to manage inquiries and how their clients work. So yeah, I do say, look, if you wanted to do the online coaching thing, great. It's fucking hard. Just have a good idea of why you're doing it and what you're doing it for. Because I've had coaches who are like really good one-to-one coaches, and they're like, I really want to go online. And I go, are you sure this is not just a grass is greener scenario? Because you are earning a very good amount of money. You're not working shitloads. And you're not having to worry about content every day. You can just go in, pick up clients, get some referrals, get some great transformations, and then carry on. But they're like, I want to travel, I want to go online, and I go, right, it's a different job. It's a completely different job.
It is.
It's going to be hard.
The content game, that's a full-time job with
this. Literally, I've only now just started treating content like it's actually part of the business, as opposed to something I just tag onto the business, which I hate. Like, there's some parts of it I do enjoy, but for the most part, not a fan. Yeah. Like, never be a fan.
It is a savage game, but the more you complain about it, it's part of being an online coach, isn't
it? It genuinely is, yeah. Like, it absolutely, you just have to do it, yeah. It's the same way that, I don't know, most jobs have a commute. Like, a commute does suck, especially if it's an hour, but it's, either you move closer there or you don't do that job. And online coaching is literally the same. As you find the things that you like, you do them, and then you go, okay, well, today I have to, redo my spreadsheets, or use a different app, or learn how to do this, or learn how to do copy, or rechange my logo, all these things that you don't really realize are actually a thing, because you think it's just training program, nutrition plan, check-ins, and then just live off the money. But yeah, it's quite funny watching that kind of glass shatter for quite a few of the newer coaches. And I think that is why coaching has such a higher churn now.
Yeah, and it's either going to make or break you.
It is, yeah. It's kind of good though. I think it's quite good that it's like that because you learn quite quickly if you want to do it. Whereas if you're kind of not grinding, but if you're like kind of like struggling through the industry and you are at that kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, maybe I should. Like, it's quite a shitty place to be in because you are second guessing yourself all the time. Whereas I think if an industry shows you straight off the bat, hey, this is or isn't for you, like, I think it's probably good. You save yourself time and then you can go, right, it's not for me. Let's find a different job, work in a different sector, whatever it is. And then, or use your skills that you've learned from online coaching to help on. Like, that's why graphic designers and content creators are so fucking popular nowadays, because they understand the industry but they don't want to coach, but they're good at something else. So if you can find a way to leverage that, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's so what's training like for you? What's the plan? Bulking now?
Yeah, so within this, I'm about, 11 weeks into this sort of bulking phase.
All right.
Things are going pretty well, like weight's coming up.
Not doing a summer shred, no?
No, I'll probably get the itch for it, but I don't need to. Like, there's no need to do a summer shred, so I'll probably just keep going as far as I can up until April, and then review, see what condition is.
Literally the exact same.
But the main thing is, like, I don't care about scale weight like previous kind of times. It's all about just training and how I look. So
yeah, I've been like that, where I use weight as rough markers, whereas this time I just go, are things going up in the gym? What does composition look like? And then just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, exactly. And then push it basically as far as I can until composition really starts to take on.
Yeah, it's like you don't actually look like you go to the gym anymore. You just look like you're a bit fat with a little bit of muscle. Yeah, fucking hate that.
You can't be doing that. Or just where like food is just at an unmanageable point and you're just trying to...
Yeah, I've always hated that about, like, it's where I never really did like any crazy bulks. I never got really comfortable. This is why I give full credit to bodybuilders who they have those like big pushes. Like, I hated that. Like, I hated being like full off season, like fat and like not being able to move and just like having like all of the downsides of bulking and like a little bit of the upsides. So yeah, it's it'll be a good year, I think. And then,
yeah, definitely. And when like, I think this is something not many people get to experience when you're deep into a bulking phase, and the strength, the sort of being in the gym and you're literally hitting numbers you never thought were possible, and you literally feel like an absolute beast.
Yeah, people forget like how much having weight does help. And like, there's the adage of like weight moves weight, and yeah, ideally that weight should be contractile tissue. But if you are a little bit heavier, it is so much easier to pick up like those heavy weights that would, like, you'd be shaking if you picked them up in a deficit. Like, I bet 40s probably fly for you now compared to the time.
When I was like sub
yeah, and you're like shaking like just picking them up. Yeah, so like I do think that is something that's really underrated when it comes to, and it also does tie into performance goals. Like, it'll be the same that when fitness levels improve, or maybe you do like lose a bit of weight, and like, holding a certain pace on a 5k is like you're flying compared to when you first start, and it feels like you're dragging your feet. So I do think that this is why I love some sort of S&C, strength and conditioning, athletic performance goal, just like a little bit of a marker, because it keeps you kind of in check with where your training's going. Apart from just like how much muscle we're building, or like where's the scale weight going, or like how does the visuals look this week, because it's very different thing to observe from a coaching perspective.
Yeah, it's good to have a sort of mix of both.
Absolutely. Yeah, variety's great, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Sick, awesome.